So welcome to Techno Dad Life, and my name is Jeff, and today we're going to be reviewing a first peek at the Ugreen DXP480T all SSD NAS. So if you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe, and I will try to leave links to everything in the description, unless I forget, of course. So today what we get to do is review the Ugreen DXP480T, which is a Kickstarter project from Ugreen, the power supply company. And so let's take a look what comes in the box. So first thing, of course, is the NAS, which is a nice aluminum, I think. And on the top it says Ugreen. On the front, this is protect what you love right there. Let's do it this way. Protect what you love. Power supply. Side is events. And on the back here we have our power input reset, 2 USB-Cs, 1 USB 3.2, HDMI, headphone plug, and a 10 gigabit Ethernet jack. Other side is a vent. And on the bottom we have access to our SSDs and actually a fan that's built in right on top of those. But before that, let's look at some of the other things that it came with. So a nice looking shiny Ethernet cable, a Ugreen branded power supply, an HDMI cable, a little tiny screwdriver, a user manual, and then it also came with 4 pads for the M.2 drives. So let's open it up and see what that looks like. So to get to the SSDs, we need to take out 2 screws, one here and one here. And then we pop that off. This cover is actually the fan for the SSDs, and this bottom piece is actually a heatsink. And over here on this side is where the power connects to the case to power the fans. Next we have our 4 SSDs, so M.2s. 2 are 4x4, and then 2 are 3x2, so not quite as fast. Now to open up the bottom cover, so this piece right here, this is all one piece of plastic, and to get it out we need to take out 4 screws, 1, 2 over there, 3, 4 underneath the pads here. And in order to take this piece off, we actually have to take out the M.2 drives too, because the connectors here are actually on the board underneath, and this is just a plastic piece that is covering up the board. Okay, so let's take this puppy apart. So first we have to remove the SSDs. Next we need to remove 4 screws. So we'll take out this one first. Take off the feet, which is pretty hard actually. There we go. And then you can see underneath there's holes, and the screws are inside the holes. Okay, and so you can see there you can't really see there, but let's do this way. So if we can see here, you can see there are the M.2 drive attachments, and if we take the cover off here, they're still there. And there is a slot there, so that's why you have to take out the M.2 drives. So over here is our Wi-Fi card, and let's take this off. So I was wrong. So over here is the Wi-Fi adapter. And so this is an Intel AX211NGW, which is a Wi-Fi 6E adapter. So over on this side where the heatsink was, this is a 128 gig 2242 Phison E13 SSD, and this is a Gen 3 x 4 slot. And so you can install whatever operating system you want on that. So underneath here we have 8 gigabytes of Samsung memory, and I believe this is DDR5. It says PC5 on it. Next we just pull out the board. The antenna is still attached there. And so you can barely see it, but let's see. How are we going to do this? We have our gigabit Ethernet, or 10 gigabit Ethernet, and our Thunderbolt 4 ports, excuse me. Underneath here we have our Intel i5 12th generation. It is a 10-core processor with 2 power cores and 8 efficiency cores, 20 PCIe lanes, 55-watt TDP. And that's about it for the inside. So now to put it back all together again. And that's how you take it apart and put it back together. So let's hook everything back up again and we'll power it up and take a look at the software. Okay, after you go through the initial setup screens, then next you have to log back in. So just use your username and password that you just made up and click I have read, stay logged in and log in. So I really suggest updating first. The NAS is going through lots of updates, like one every 1 or 2 days as I'm reading this. I don't know how this will compare to when it actually comes out, but to get all the features you need to do that. So the first thing you'll see is this list of things down the side, or things to do. So we'll just quickly go through them. So create a volume, which will open up the storage manager, and so you'll create pool and then create volume. And here I divided up our 4 SSDs into 2 disks each, so 2 pools. Next would be basic file operation. So that opens up the file manager where you first create a shared file, and so you can do that through here. And then you can go to user folders. So this is one thing that needs a little updating. So the user folder is actually under the shared folders here. It doesn't show up in the proper place. So it doesn't look like there's a way to unshare that folder, at least logically at the moment, but we'll see in the future. So next is multi-terminal login. So when I clicked on it, nothing happened. It just goes to a 404 web page. So needs some work there. Next, we'll enable Ugreen Link. And so how you do that is it will open up remote access mode 1, enable Ugreen Link, and then you will be able to add devices. Then you'll be able to add devices remotely. HTTPS simply adds you have to log in with HTTPS. And under network connections, this is where you would work with your Wi-Fi. If you want to do that, you could turn it on here. And then you can add it to networks. So next is certificates. So if we click on that, we get the default certificates, and we can add a new certificate if we want by importing it. And then the final two buttons, you add the Photos app and the Sync and Backup app. And for some reason they don't show up here. But once we've done that, you can close this and continue. So we've taken a look at the file manager. So we created folders. The control panel is where all the different things that we've just been looking up were. So again, user management, file management, device connection, terminal, hardware, time and date. And it's synced to Beijing, so we want to change that to somewhere closer. And then apply. And languages, follow your browser language. Again, here, file services. Here we would enable SMB service. And then click apply. Other things going on, FTP, NFS, rsync, WebDAV, and advanced settings. Domain, if you want to set that. Terminal, if you want to enable the terminal, you would click right there. Hardware and power. So it has fan control settings on this, and I have the fan set to quiet, but you can still definitely hear it. The fans ramp up occasionally for no apparent reason. So definitely they need to work on their fan driver. If you compare it to like a mini PC, these things are usually completely silent all the time. And so that is not the case with this NAS. It's not bad, but if you hate extra noise like I do, you will definitely notice it. You can turn the LED indicators up or down, and if the buzzer, you want that. Shutdown schedule is a UPS. Time and language again. Network settings. Network connections. This is where you turn the WLAN on and off, and traffic control. Security, firewall, and certificates. Indexing, and then about. And so there you can see we have our 12th gen Intel Core i5-1235U, and its CPU clock rates, 10 cores, 12 threads. Current temperature is 55 degrees, and our memory is 8 gigabytes. Storage, it tells us are 2 pools, and then it has all the disk information, what services we have available, and device analysis. And then finally we have update and restore, system restore, and configuration and backup. Other things on here, the App Center. So if we look at this, there's not a lot of apps available yet, but they do have Docker, so you then can install the apps that way. So here we can see they have the basics. So we have search, Docker, security manager, sync and backup, which we installed, control panel. I don't know why that is separate here. Downloads, music, storage, tasks, DLNA server, file manager, photo manager. So they're missing basic things like Plex or MB or things like that. So you have to add those through Docker, but it's not actually too much of a problem. So if we go to Docker and install that, we're going to install this on number 2, and then install. Then click open. So that opens a basic Docker board, you could say. We go under containers. There's no new containers yet. So first we have to get an image. And so we'll just pick out Plex. Doesn't do it by that, so we have to put Linux server. And then we can go down to Plex. And so first we need to download it and confirm. And if we go over to local images, then we can see, oh, we just downloaded. So next, to add an image, you click on plus, and then you fill out the basic configuration here. So let's see, we want to add a pool, and then click out our media pool there, and then click network, and that's good. Everything else is good, and so then we'll click done, and it will create the container. If we go up to containers, we can see our server is now running. And so then we have to pick out the right one to open the Plex access, and I think it's that one. But if you forget, you can go back to the image and click right there, and that will take us to the Docker page where we can scroll down, and we want 32400. So let's go back to our container, go here, and we want 32400, which is not here. Okay, so let's try another one. So let's do 41727, and we have success, it looks like. And so now we would just log in to Plex like normal. So for some reason they changed the ports for Plex. I don't know why they did that, but that's one of the unusual things. Again, this is the beta, so they don't have quite everything set up correctly, and you have to figure things out. Anything else we want to see here? So basically, search task manager has the basics about CPU, GPU, memory, network, but the statistics only show up after you've clicked on it. So it's not a real, it's not a historic, I should say. Then we have universal search, and let's try Docker. So that didn't show up either. Let's try sync, see if it shows up. Yep, so not finding any of those. So search 2 is a work in progress. So overall, it is definitely a beta version. It's a good beta version now. Other things we can look at is CPU, GPU, and RAM right there, and then our internet connection. Task manager shows our tasks that are happening. Notifications tells us what we've just done. You clear them by the brush here. Search, and let's try this one. And this one does work. So interestingly, when we do the search up here and we type in Docker, the app does show up, but if we view more in universal search, the app does not show up anyplace. So, yep, needs some work. And finally, we have our administrator account, your My Accounts. Personal, you get to personalize it with wallpaper. Yeah, let's see, let's change one from NAS. Oh, and there's no extra wallpapers on the computer. And then we have restart, shutdown, logouts, and your accounts. So is this the perfect NAS? No. Is it a good first start? Yes. It is still a work in progress though. I don't know how much farther they will get by the time that it debuts, which is going to be shortly, but it's definitely worth a try. Other things about this, you can install an alternative operating system on it besides the software it comes with. And so you could do something like Open Media Vault or FreeNAS or TrueNAS, and or even Unraid if you wanted. So it's up to you. So there are a world of possibilities with this. Say overall, I would say the hardware is very good. The software is a work in progress still, so you have to take that into account. And now this is the beta version, and it has a few more weeks till it releases, but it's gotten a lot better because, like I said, they were making updates every day. So who would I say this is good for? So if you're transferring a lot of volume of files, so say like you're doing video editing, this is a great machine for that. It's not really for home media server or anything like that, because you're limited by the size of the drives. So the M.2 drives are more expensive than regular hard drives, and you can get a lot more hard drive gigabytes or terabytes of hard drive if you buy the mechanical hard drives. And plus, this actually still makes noise, so it does have that fan noise. So if you were looking for a completely silent system, this is not for you unless they fix those fan curves, which I hope they do. You hear me, Ugreen? Fix those fans. Besides that, like I said, it's a good start. Hopefully Ugreen will keep improving everything, and we'll see more from them in the future. That's it for today. You take care, have a great day, and bye-bye.